The sun dipped low, casting shadows along the narrow road. I felt an eerie chill climb my spine as I approached Pemberton. As I drove, the silence thickened. Only the crunch of gravel under my tires broke the stillness, feeling almost unnatural. An old woman ambled down the street, stopping abruptly as I neared. She averted her gaze, retreating into the shadow of her home. The air felt heavy. I sensed something dense, a weight of unspoken words lingering in the twilight, making my heart race. As I passed the town sign, a memory surfaced: 3 missing people since October '83. I felt the shadow of their absence. I leaned against my steering wheel, pondering what lay ahead. Had I wandered into a place bearing secrets too heavy to bear? I let out a little air, thinking about the stories of those who had disappeared. The road ahead was empty, except for shadows that seemed to dance. A distant echo of a nocturnal animal made my heart race. The silence was dense, broken only by sounds that didn't belong to the night. I remembered Daniel's call, 11 seconds. What did he know? The feeling of being watched grew inside me, like a shadow. I smelled a strange odor of damp earth mixed with something metallic. It shouldn't have been there. The ground beneath my feet seemed to pulsate. I was walking down the road when I noticed a dot in the distance. A business card, that's all. I looked around, but there was no one there. With a lump in my throat, I picked up the card. The impression was Ruth's. The soil here shouldn't exist. The message resonated in my mind. Night was falling quickly. The fear of moving forward was real, but so was the fear of looking back. Small decisions, but immense ones. I kept driving, the road seeming to stretch endlessly. The radio flickered to a whisper, leaving only the sound of the engine echoing. A figure appeared at the side of the road. An elderly man, swaying slightly, his eyes fixed on me. I was overcome by a sense of urgency. He raised a hand, but I didn't make myself understood. Part of me wanted to stop.
Another part said to keep going, and I chose the easier path.
I continued. His gaze followed me. Somehow, something in the depths of his eyes seemed to intertwine with those stories of disappearance. I arrived at the next abandoned gas station. The air was heavy, and I knew I had already crossed an invisible line. I had to go body and Sido what saved to go. I stopped in front of the gas station, the silence broken only by the wind. The moonlight illuminated those worn features. Something wasn't right. The scent of old oil mingled with the taste of solitude. My footsteps echoed louder than I expected. The door creaked as it opened. Inside, the air was heavy. An old forgotten radio whispered a distant song. I hesitated, feeling I shouldn't be there. Crumpled sheets of paper were scattered about. Some had numbers on them, others names. The dew enveloped me, and my unease grew. I heard a noise in the background. It was a low sound, almost like a murmur. I decided to investigate, even though my instinct told me to leave. The closer I got, the more the murmur turned into voices. They were quick whispers, incomprehensible words. The tension was palpable. I stopped. Doubt gnawed at me. Was it time to go back, or should I follow this trail of mystery? My curiosity outweighed my fear. I decided to follow. The voices seemed to guide me, but with each step, my conscience echoed the warnings I had heard in the city. I arrived in a small room, the walls covered in graffiti. Something gleamed in the darkness, a lockbox. My heart raced. I approached the box. The shine seemed almost inviting. There was something unsettling about it, something that made me hesitate. I smelled something strange, as if the box was hiding something more. My instinct screamed to stop, but curiosity was too strong.
I decided to continue investigating the box.
An inexplicable impulse pushed me to open it, without thinking about the consequences. Inside, there were yellowed letters and old photos. One face caught my attention. It was Daniel. The connection was terrifying. The letters spoke of encounters and unspoken secrets. The weight of each word weighed heavily on me. It was like reading an epitaph for lost souls. A chill ran down my spine. The truth was closer than I had imagined. The voices in the room were now louder, more insistent. I began to understand that it ain't just disappearances. The city had a pact, a terrifying shadow that enveloped it. I left the room, my heart racing. The city was alive in the darkness, and voices echoed through the streets in a silent lament. On the way back to the gas station, I passed another significant gaze. This connection I felt was just mine. Cada paso na calzada reniente tracia, no alivio, mas uma crescente inquieta. Me zuas, us prestes a cruzar o mala. As I approached the car, I looked back. The shadows seemed denser, as if you were watching, waiting for something. I got into the car and quickly closed the door. The feeling of being watched consumed me. The engine roared, breaking the silence. I drove down the road, but every turn made me look in the rearview mirror. Something, or someone, wasn't letting me go.
My thoughts were a labyrinth. My mind stuck on the voices and faces that were now like shadows on the journey.
Fear grew. Pemberton wouldn't make it easy for me. The journey dragged on, and the only certainty was that I wasn't alone. Not by a long shot. The silence in the gas station was almost oppressive. A sudden chill ran down my spine, as if something were watching me. With the locked box in my hand, I hesitated. The letters could reveal more about Daniel, or open a door that shouldn't be opened. A cold wind blew, bringing with it a sweet, nauseating smell. I remembered what Ruth had written about the soil. I looked at the horizon. The presence of the trees squeezed the space, as if there were something there that wanted to hide. I heard whispers. Voices echoed in the distance, their origin unknown. It was becoming increasingly clear that he was not alone. My feet moved almost imperceptibly. The urge to leave grew stronger, but curiosity held me back. With some effort, I decided to open the box. The letters were yellowed, and the words seemed to have been written under some kind of pressure. The name Viridian was repeated repeatedly. I felt that each letter carried a weight, a warning that I couldn't interpret. Suddenly, a noise, a creaking sound coming from one of the abandoned buildings.
My heart raced. My adrenaline surged.
With the box in my hands, I made a choice: run away or investigate. The tension was palpable, almost electric. Curiosity won out. I went through the door, entering the darkness. My device, now haunted by static, each step seemed to echo.
Finally, I understood the answers were there, but perhaps I wasn't ready.
The dim light of the room illuminated the dust on the box as I hesitated. A distant noise echoed. Something or someone was outside.
The whispering in my mind intensified.
The name Viridian now sounded like a warning, like an echo of something forgotten. I decided to leave. The road was narrow and deserted, the silence deafening. I knew I shouldn't go back, but the urge was strong. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw something move, a silhouette beside an abandoned gas station. My heart raced, but I kept walking. I approached the gas station, the smell of oil and rust filling my nostrils. It was hot, but the atmosphere was cold and uncomfortable. I hesitated. Should I explore or continue? The tension in the air was palpable, as if something were watching my every move in the dim light. Just another night driving down a winding road, the hum of the tires familiar but unsettling.
Shadows danced in the trees.
I felt a heaviness in the air, an unshakable tension. The night breeze carried whispers I couldn't quite hear. Then, a flicker caught my attention. Was that a figure among the branches? I dismissed it, but unease grew. With the road stretching endlessly, I tried to brush off the sensation. Just fatigue, I told myself. But the silence felt heavy. I grappled with my instincts.
Should I stop? Investigate? Each option felt like walking a tightrope between danger and curiosity.
But I pressed on, the weight of my choice anchoring me.
Fear blossomed in the pit of my stomach, a seed planted for future nights.
The radio buzzed faintly as I drove, Pemberton's name lingering like a shadow. Disappearances twisted my thoughts. I could only think of Daniel, Ruth, and Marcus. Faces I would never see again, lost in whispers of a forgotten town. The trees flanking the road loomed, whispering secrets I was too afraid to hear. I tightened my grip on the wheel. In the distance, a flicker of lights caught my eye. The gas station, abandoned yet alive with echoes of the past. Something pulled at me, the weight of curiosity battling with the instinct to flee. The choice felt unbearable. I parked across the street, hesitant, parked. The air grew thicker, filled with the scent of gasoline and decay lingering around. Stepping out, I heard a soft rustling. A rat scurried past, but it felt like a warning.
My heart raced with dread.
I took a step closer to the building. The glass in the windows was shattered, jagged edges glistening under the moonlight. An old sign creaked softly in the wind, its words barely legible. Pemberton's secrets were etched into every corner. Suddenly, a voice echoed from within, low and almost melodic out. Instinct screamed at me to turn back, to forget. But there I stood, rooted to the ground. I felt the weight of every choice I had made so far, heavy like lead. In that moment, I knew the choice to not look back would haunt me, like those who vanish without a trace. Stepping inside the abandoned facility felt like crossing an unseen threshold. The air was thick, stale, and heavy with secrets. Footsteps echoed unnaturally, a reminder that I was not alone, even in solitude. Each sound sent shivers through my spine. A strange scent lingered in the air, metallic yet sweet, as if something unspeakable had been washed away but never forgotten. I paused, heart racing. A flickering light above drew my attention, grasping at my fears with its weak, unstable glow. I moved forward, curiosity battling the instinct to flee. Shadows danced around, their movements grotesque like memories wanting to surface. A cold draft brushed past me, carrying whispers of long-gone conversations. I strained to listen, but the words remained buried. Old photographs hung crookedly on the walls, faces fading. They seemed to watch, holding their own pieces of the story I sought. I picked one, fingers trembling. It showed a festive gathering. Yet, behind the smiles, a darkness lingered, unspoken and accusing. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed from the back.
My body froze.
Was it just the wind or something waiting to be discovered? I took a hesitant step towards the noise, adrenaline coursing through my veins. Each heartbeat echoed louder than the last. Inside, a toppled chair lay broken, as if someone fled in haste. The weight of their fear tugged at my own heart. A handprint smeared across the dusty table caught my eye. I reached out, hesitating, but withdrawal felt too tempting. I stepped back, wrestling with the instinct to leave. But something deeper dragged me into yearning to unearth the buried truth.
Just outside, the wind picked up, whispering threats only the night could hear.
I felt exposed, as if the darkness knew me. And then I saw Ida's small door slightly ajar, almost welcoming, yet foreboding. It felt wrong to open it, but I had to know. Every story has its depths. I owed it a chance. Preparing myself, I pushed it gently, the creak slicing through the silence. It led down a corridor, darker than the rest. The air changed.
I could almost taste the fear.
Something wasn't right. At the end, a flicker of light pulsed. Drawn in, I approached, my senses heightened. What awaited me beyond reason? As I neared, a low hum drowned out my thoughts. Something mechanical churned, a stark contrast to the haunting stillness. The light grew stronger, blinding. Then I saw unmarked files scattered, data of lives once lived, lives now erased. Panic clawed at me. Each file told stories, faces hauntingly familiar. Could it be those who vanished? My heart raced. Reality slipped, and dread coiled around my thoughts. I staggered back, each breath weighted with forgotten truths. The escape seemed unreachable. I felt shackled to that moment, haunted by what lay ahead and what I dared not know. And just like that, I felt the choice, the urge to flee or to uncover. Whatever I chose, it would echo forever. The air around me felt heavy, almost electric. I could hear my own heartbeat, drowned by echoes that seemed to whisper my name. A sudden creak resonated from the hallway. Was it just the building settling or something else? I stiffened, my breath caught. I moved deeper into the facility, each step echoing harshly. The walls closed in, a tight reminder of lost lives and wasted hopes. Fragments of old documents lay scattered. Programs, names, and dates, each one a piece of the puzzle that led to HERON Gray. I picked one up, the words blurred under my shaking hands. They talked of experiments, of survival at any cost. Who paid that price? A chill coursed through me. The air smelled of rust and decay, a stark reminder of what lay beneath this cursed ground. Outside, the wind howled. It carried whispers, remnants of voices pleading, warning. I felt their stories wrapping around me. I hesitated. to dig deeper or to flee. My heart raced as uncertainty clouded my mind between truth and torment blurred. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the rear of the building. My instincts screamed to run, but curiosity nagged at me like a thorn. I crept towards the noise, each footfall slower than the anterior. The reality of what I might find clawed at my gut. As I entered, I saw remnants of a struggle overturned chairs, remnants of old equipment. This wasn't an end, it was a beginning. I turned to flee, realizing the echoes of those lost would stay with me. Each choice leaves a scar. Pemberton has its hold. I bolted from the building, the air thick with unease. The forest loomed, branches clawing at the sky, shadows darting just out of view. As I drove away, the haunting knowledge of Pemberton clung to me. Was I merely a witness, or had I stirred something deep? My car's heater sputtered, the engine's hum mixing with my racing thoughts. Would I forever carry the weight of what id seen? In the rearview mirror, the darkness seemed to swell, as if something from those woods was now part of my journey. Pulling into an old gas station, I felt exposed. The flickering light made everything feel like it was held together by fear. I left without filling the tank, the urge to flee overpowering any need for gas. Some places are meant to stay untouched.